Welcome to this Southampton 5 in 5. In this video, we'll be looking at student finance. So here are 5 things that you need to know. Number 1. Dispel the myths. It's fair to say that the university sector has had a tough time over the last few years. However, despite a push towards individual outcomes, salaries and jobs, a university's fundamental principles remain unchanged. Universities are significant investors in cities and people within them, attracting global talent, but above all else they are there to address societal changes, foster creativity and open debate and work towards solutions for current and future problems facing us all. The good news is that graduates are more likely to be employed compared to those who left education with qualifications of a lower standard, and you can expect your salaries to be higher than those without the university degree. Many sectors and employers value the skills gained from a university experience. And even better news is that many don't specify an area of study or degree title. Number 2. Take the money. Despite what you might think is short-term gain, you should definitely consider borrowing the maximum amount available to you, which is called your maintenance loan. This will be on top of your tuition fee loan and is designed to help with the cost of living. It varies depending on whether you stay at home to study or whether you study within or outside of London. The amount available to you depends on your parental income. The higher the parental income, the less you are able to borrow. In this chart, we can take those maximum amounts and divide it by 40 weeks, which is a typical university year, and you get a sense of what your weekly budget would be. Now, you may look at that amount and think it's plenty, but by the time you factor in your living costs and accommodation costs, there's likely to be a shortfall. Rightly or wrongly, the government believes that parents will support students with the costs involved. Now, we know that not every student will have this type of financial support, so there are other sources to investigate, such as bursaries, which is money that does not have to be repaid and is often based on parental income, and scholarships, which also don't have to be repaid and are often based on exceeding your predicted grades or a test alongside your application. The reality for most students will be balancing a busy, fun and challenging educational experience alongside a part-time job to support your studies. Number 3. Value for money. Value for money is a really unusual concept and varies massively by an individual's perception. Now, you could argue that a tin of beans that costs 25 pence is value for money, but someone else who's saved £5,000 on a £40,000 car may also think that they've achieved value for money. So what is value for money when it comes to higher education? Well, it's important to consider the short-term gains against a longer-term return on your investment. The halls of residence may be significantly cheap and cheerful, but what about the rest of the university and the course itself? Just how useful is a free iPad or laptop? How stressful would a condensed 2-year degree be? And we're seeing a massive push towards apprenticeships and degree apprenticeships. What happens if you want to leave that employer? What is the progression like? And how will other employers and sectors view that qualification against a more traditional and recognised degree? When you leave your university course, you'll be entering an increasingly competitive and evolving jobs market. A university experience should be about equipping you for your future jobs and careers, not necessarily about short-term savings during your studies. Number 4. Payback. This is where there is a significant difference between the types of loans and debts and mortgages society is normally used to. The main difference is that you only start making repayments once you're earning over a certain amount, and that is currently at £26,500. And it's 9% on everything over that threshold. It's taken straight from your salary, just like a tax or national insurance. So, if you decide to go travelling, if you decide to start a family, if your income remains less than that threshold, then the payments stop, which is very different to traditional mortgages, car loans and credit cards. So perhaps it's about how you rationalise the cost involved. Is this a debt, or should we be thinking it more like a graduate tax? This chart gives you a current indication of the amount that will be taken from your salary based on your earnings. So if you earn around £30,000, your monthly deductions would be about £30. Think about what you spend at the moment and the cost involved in day-to-day life. Perhaps £30 a month is a pretty solid investment for a higher education degree. Number 5. Key facts. There are a couple of other key areas to bear in mind as well. Yes, like other loans, you will be earning interest on the amount that is borrowed, and this starts from the very first day of the course. The amount which you repay is linked to what you earn, not what you owe, which is why you should borrow the full amount which you're entitled to. And as we said, after 30 years the loan is cleared. And if you do decide to study abroad, take an additional year in industry, the fees involved are significantly reduced, often around £1,000 to £2,000. So, our 5 in 5. Number 1. Use the facts and ignore the myths. Number 2. Take the full loan amounts. Number 3. Think about longer-term benefits over short-term savings. Number 4. You pay back based on your salary. Think of this like a graduate tax. And number 5. Your loans are cleared after 30 years. Good luck with your applications.